I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about blaming yourself for the breakup. So Margaret, one of the things that we see all the time is that people are blaming themselves, beating themselves up
terribly.
and putting all the blame on themselves during the breakup. And boy, does it make you feel like you are spiraling out of control.
Oh, it really does. And people will go over one phrase over and over again. Do you think it was that I said that? Or do you think it was the time that I did this? And they'll go over it and over it and over it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't one phrase and it wasn't one occasion that led to the breakup.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about this today. Margaret came across some research that she really liked.
Yes, I did. And I'll tell you why I really liked it.
What'd you like, Margaret?
This article that I'm going to share is from the Harvard Business Review. Mm-hmm. Now, as you might imagine, that's a big deal, partly because it comes from Harvard and partly because the Harvard Business School has always been famous. But it's striking to me that some of the things that we talk about here are becoming obvious to people in business, that if they have healthy employees, they have better productivity. So I think it just tells you that what we're selling is selling pretty well, even among business people. Okay, so perhaps you have thought that self-criticism is what keeps you sharp. Many people use it as a form of motivation, hoping that if they're tough enough on themselves, they'll be compelled to perform. Research, however, has shown that self-criticism is a poor strategy. When used excessively, it is consistently associated with less motivation, less self-control, and greater procrastination.
Wow. So the exact opposite of what would keep you motivated in a breakup.
Yep, exactly right. Exactly right. And I think people always think of, the coaches who are really tough on their players have the best players. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's all there is to it. And I think there's a general attitude out there that if you're really tough on people, they will perform better. No, limits and structure are good, but it does not motivate people. It makes them feel bad about themselves and give up trying. So you're right, it's absolutely the opposite. Mm-hmm. Okay? In fact, self-criticism shifts the brain into a state of inhibition, which prevents you from taking action to reach your goals. Okay.
Interesting.
Well, I've beaten myself up enough that I believe myself, and I won't do it right anyway, So being hard on yourself may be ineffective, but it is also a hard pattern to break. It requires consistent attention and practice. Here are a few strategies that I share with my clients that can set you on the path to taking a more balanced emotional approach to your performance. The author is named Melanie Wilding, and she's a business and executive coach.
Okay,
that's what I said. Okay. Now, here's the first suggestion, and I love it. Name your inner critic.
Mom.
Yeah, right. Yeah, some of them will be named Mom. That's absolutely true. That creates a psychological distance from self-criticism by personifying it. For example, choose a silly name or a character from a movie or a book. Mm-hmm. Mine is called Bozo, but you might name your own the little monster or the gremlin. And then I thought of some other good ones, and I'm sure you can add to the list. Mm-hmm. Dracula, Ursula, the Sea Witch, Darth Vader, any of those lovely people that we all know. Mm-hmm. But I can see the logic that if you name the self-critic, that puts it outside of you. And that is a good idea. Do any names leap to your mind? Darth Vader, I'm sure.
Oh, I was thinking about the Emperor.
Oh, the Emperor.
For Star Wars.
Oh, yes. Okay.
He's very, very evil.
Yes. All right.
Very critical.
You're very critical. Naming your inner critic leverages cognitive diffusion, which a term I had never heard before. Cognitive diffusion, spelled with an E, diffusion. That is a process by which you separate yourself from your thoughts. Okay, my thoughts and I are not quite the same thing. Okay? They are a product of my head, but I am not my thoughts. Diffusion is shown to reduce discomfort and reduce the believability of the inner critic. All right? And the stress of negative thoughts. So I think it's a brilliant idea. It also promotes psychological flexibility, or the capacity to steady your mind, manage your emotions, and be aware, open, and adaptive to changing demands. So be quiet, Darth. I did the best I could.
I will strike you down, Margaret.
Oh, very good.
It is unavoidable. You know what's funny, Margaret, is that a couple of people have messaged me recently that in the creative healing course,
Yep.
I think we have 15 cartoons.
Yep.
And I did a lot of different voices.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of different voices and stuff. We had a lot of fun doing the voices. And I didn't think of it till after I said it. But you remember the cartoon on the anxiety?
Yes.
The anxiety character, the anxious character, was the emperor voice. Remember that?
Yes, it was the emperor voice. Now, perhaps you would like to let us know some good names for your inner critic.
Oh, yeah.
That you think of. We would love to hear that. All right. Avoid generalization. If you've had a bad day, a bad meeting, a report that no one cheered about, look at the bigger picture. You have kept your job and probably your relationship, likely for a while, which means that most days you perform at an average or above average level. So when you're getting down on yourself for one thing, remember, okay, in the big picture, you do well most of the time. Avoid extreme statements like, I always mess up, I will never get my voice heard, or this always happens every time. Again, it's a good idea to ban always and never from your vocabulary. Okay? All right. Flip the what ifs. We are all good at thinking about what could go wrong. Think instead about what could go right. What a strange idea. Ask yourself before a meeting, what if the senior leadership team loves my presentation? Okay? What if my partner is delighted with the meal I cooked and the movie I got for us to watch tonight? So it's...
Is this an old article, the movie I got us to watch?
No, I'm... Oh, yeah.
Blockbuster's been going for 30 years, Margaret.
Yeah. Well, it's my age, not the article. All right. That's exactly what I said. You're right. Anyway, think about what could go right. And that's a total flip from how most of us think. You know, use a timer, and I think we mentioned that in another presentation. Being hard on yourself can ruin your mood, your focus, and your productivity if you let it.
Yeah.
Luckily, shame and humiliation, two emotions that are common with self-criticism, are shown by research to only last between 30 and 50 minutes.
Say that again.
What wonderful information that is.
That's interesting. Say that again.
Two emotions that are common with self-criticism.
Okay.
Shame and humiliation are shown by research to only last between 30 to 50 minutes. All right?
Okay.
So this too shall pass absolutely works here. But those are awful emotions, shame and humiliation. There's nothing worse, right?
Yeah.
Allow yourself a period of time, say 30 minutes, and allow yourself to fully experience and process your emotions during that period. Okay? But only give it the 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you could spend the rest of your life kind of ruminating on it, chewing it over, as we say. Another helpful practice is called release writing, in which you just pick up your pen and free write from 3 to 5 minutes, and you'll be amazed what you write down. It lets go of pent-up frustrations, and then it is over.
Yeah.
So again, you're not going to let this go on forever. You're going to feel the feelings, but you're going to time limit it. All right? All right. Expand your definition of success. No one can perform with complete and total excellence at all times. Nobody is perfect. And remember, I do hear many people who grew up in families that told them they had to be perfect. And you're beaten before you even start because it's not possible.
Yeah, they're setting you up to fail.
Absolutely. So you can't perform completely perfectly at all times. And if you don't, okay, you may have overcome your own resistance or fear of dealing with whatever this thing is. You may have pushed back and stood up for what you think is right. You may have approached a situation with a different mindset or attitude, and you may have taken a small step toward a goal. Remember, this is geared toward business. So suppose, nobody likes your latest offering of what you have to say. You have to remind yourself that you still may have grown from this experience.
Absolutely.
All right? The takeaway from this is wanting the best outcome is a good thing. Being hard on yourself if it doesn't happen is not. Okay?
Something to think about.
Right.
Sometimes success is out of our control.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we can only control certain aspects of it.
Yep.
And you can do your best to navigate,
right,
but it may not always go your way.
It may not. And, yeah.
But sometimes that leads to bigger and better things.
But if you can do the best you can for a long time, inevitably it will lead to better things.
Yeah.
But here we go, that even the business people know that the inner critic is not helpful. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I have to say. And name your inner critic. If you do nothing else today or tomorrow, name your inner critic.
Interesting. I want to see your names. I want to see the names you put in the comments section.
Let us know what names you come up with for your inner critic. I can think of a really obnoxious woman who lived in my neighborhood. She's possible. She's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when we designed the creative course, the inner critic that we used for the anxiety was the emperor.
It was the emperor, yeah.
I'll find a clip of it and I'll put a little clip on my Instagram so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it was so good, that cartoon. That was one of my favorites.
Absolutely. And one more time, let's hear it for the Firestone family who have been they've been doing the best they can about the inner critic for many years.
I'm disappointed in their failures.
Very good, Craig.
More research, Firestones.
Wonderfully done.
Or we will destroy you. I need a little cloak over my head.
Yes, you do. And I'm sure everyone out there enjoyed your very lovely presentation of that.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. Oh, please let him know that he did a good job. Please.
Otherwise, I won't do my Yoda one for you in the future.
All right. Now, that's a terrible threat.
All right. So good research. Let us know what you thought about this one. Hopefully not from your critical inner voice.
And by the way, neither one of us can be your critical inner voice.
I guess not. What about Coach Victoria? Maybe her.
Yeah, she's not here. We'll pick on her.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah.
All right, so let us know if you like this one. Hopefully you found it helpful. And of course, if you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret is available for Skype coaching.
If you feel that I can be helpful, please sign up.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.